Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing okay today. I want to talk about the fear and the anxiety that happens when you've been betrayed. People don't talk about this, but besides feeling angry and hurt, you will actually now have a lot of fear and anxiety because all of a sudden you've got a situation that you can't deal with it and you're overwhelmed. And I want you to look at that and be kind to yourself during this time. The fear will come from the fact that now all of a sudden everything's been destabilized and you're frightened for the future. Like, will this relationship work? Will I be able to cope with my mum anymore now she's betrayed me? Will I be able to deal with the business stuff? Like, you're in unknown territory and you're going to be very, very fearful. There's also fear of loss. Will I lose this relationship with these people now that they've betrayed me? Will I be able to get over it? And how do I fix it? And how do I mend it? So this is also going to be a fearful place. Having had this fear, now you'll be anxious and you will have anxiety dealing with them. If you are a person who already has anxiety, your anxiety could go right through the roof with this one. So if you need help, go to see a doctor or start taking whatever helps you in your anxiety state. But know that you're going to be feeling very anxious as well. So there's a lot of emotions happening for you. You're angry, you're hurt, you're upset, you're feeling fearful, you're feeling anxious, and you have no solution right now. Don't worry about it. You don't need a solution. You just need to get through the feelings and start to accept that you have them and then try and dissipate them. Or if you've got fear and anxiety, you might need to go to the doctor and take something for a while or use some homeopathic things to help you with your anxiety, or do some of your practices again, like meditating, walking, having a calming bath, being in calming places. Because some of the betrayals are very severe, if you need to take time off work, take a little bit of sick leave, have a few days out, and just lock down a little bit and just figure out what you're going to do with yourself now. It's okay. You're not weak. It's smart. It's smart to take some time out. You've had a big hit. If you'd hit by a truck, you would be in bed now. Now you've been hit by an emotional truck. And that's what it will feel like. And it's very, very hard to deal socially with people and try and act like you're normal when the whole inside of you is just a complete, utter mess. So if you need to take time off, do that. That will also make it less fearful and anxious for you. You won't be as anxious going to work. If you have a good boss or you work in a good environment and can say something and they will keep your secret or be quiet or confidentiality, then tell them why. Say you just need a few days off to try and rebalance. If you're not in that situation, I'd just take the sick leave. Just have whatever you need to have and have the time off, or take some leave. You can take leave as well. It's important to take care of yourself now because you're going to be really suffering and you need just a bit of space to face it and feel it. The fear and the anxiety will remain for a while, and you'll also feel anxious around that person because you don't know who they are anymore. Like you had a sort of picture in your head of what they were like, who they were, and you trusted them. And now all of a sudden they've ripped that away and you don't have that anymore. And you're like, who are you? You can feel very much like they're a stranger. That's how I felt, like, who are you? I didn't realise you were going to be like this. Besides all the betrayal and the breach of trust and the lies, you'll feel they're not someone you know anymore. Like, I didn't think you were like this. And that's going to take you time. And it's going to make you anxious around them because before you felt really safe and comfortable, but now you don't. They'll bring up fear in you and anxiety in you, and you will feel anxious. It's important that you take time to process these emotions, and if you need to go and get help and talk to somebody, you do that. There are many free counselling online things that you can just ring up and be quite anonymous and use those, because sometimes it's really hard to face people if you don't quite think you're ready to do it. So use those anonymous phone places and ring them up and have a chat to a few of them if you want to, or several times if you need to. That's what they're there for. And you might not feel like leaving the house either. You might be upset and you've been crying a lot and your eyes all look puffy and you just can't put on the fake mask and go out there. And so you still need support, so do that. The fear and anxiety is about your future, because now you don't know what to do and you don't know what's going to happen and everything is a mess. This time will pass because you will come in time to work out your feelings, work out whether you can process them enough to go back into the relationship, or whether you need to have quite a lot of space, or even perhaps if for you it's done now. You don't need to make a decision, and you just the decision can be no decisions. There are usually 3 decisions in life. That's yes, no, and I don't know. And you can have the I don't know one, because you might not know. Some people emphatically know that for them now it's over and there's no coming back. It's in their nature, it's in their DNA, and they won't tolerate it. But some people are in the middle ground, and you might be in the middle ground, and you don't have to make a decision. You don't have to decide what you want to do, besides just getting on and getting up every day and just doing the best you can. You don't have to decide about these relationships. Giving yourself time also allows the other person who's betrayed you to start to make some kind of concession and or be sorry, or whatever's going to happen there. And that's another thing, that if you're going to try and fix it, you have to have someone who's willing to work with you on this. They can't keep behaving the same way. You can't forgive somebody for something and then they just keep doing it. That's not doable in real life. The fear and the anxiety will make you feel strange as well, because maybe you always felt like happy and kind of calm and everything, and now you're in this horrible space. But it will pass. You will get through this. You will find a way out of it, but you're going to need help. And you can help yourself first, and you can get help from people you know, and then also people you don't know. And by expressing how you feel will help as well, because the more you can express it and release it, the better you have a chance of getting out of this and coming to some kind of more healthy arrangement for yourself. Lots of people don't talk about the fear and anxiety because I don't think they recognise that it's happening, because the anger and the hurt are so strong. It's very painful being betrayed. It's a pain like someone got a knife and just stuck it in your heart. That's what it feels like. And while you've got that pain, the fact that you're very fearful now and anxious almost is diminished by that pain. But the fear and the anxiety are going to affect how you operate in your life, and you're going to become perhaps a person who has trouble now eating. You might have trouble sleeping. You might not be able to concentrate and focus, and this is of course going to affect work. You might have it going around in your head over and over again, what happened, and you can't get off the loop. And these are all part of the shock of it all, the numb of it all, and the fact that you are just in a complete state of feeling terrible. Get help for these things. If you need to take something for your anxiety for a certain amount of time, do what you think's best for you. Don't listen to other people. They don't feel like you. They might never have this happen to them and they'll never understand it. Because I don't think until you've been betrayed, particularly in a romantic relationship where you completely trust that person, I don't think you can explain that to someone else who's living in a lovely, harmonious marriage. They just won't get it, because there's so many emotions and they're very mixed up emotions that you're experiencing, and there's nothing you can do to really stop those emotions in many ways at the beginning. Once you recognise them, you can start to release them and let them go, and also get help, maybe using some things to take to get you through it. But it's pretty devastating. Remember, you are actually safe. You can make a good decision with this thing. And even if you decided to go back and try again, there's always the option that if it doesn't work, you are free to go. Nothing's set in concrete, remember. Nothing is, you have to do it this way or that way. You're going to have to sort of work your way through it. And that's the thing, that's probably the worst thing about it, that there's no way out of the dark tunnel except keep going until you can see a bit of the light. So I wish you well with your fear and anxiety, and get help for that, and medication if you need it, or If you want to use some natural remedies, use those. Definitely acknowledge it and know that it's happening. And then that's going to help make it easier for you, because if you get some help in that area, you'll cope better. So I'm sending you lots of love and lots of healing, because this stuff is really hard. And I hope that you can start to alleviate some of your anxiety and release some of your fears.